think the companies of the future, to be successful, they'll have to be, above all, adaptable and flexible. We are right now in a transitional moment in the world economy in a number of different ways. Technology obviously is in a very transformative moment with AI, but how exactly it's going to be used, where, and in what ways is still very much up in the air. I think that puts a lot of premium on being very flexible. There are also significant transformations that the world geopolitical situation and the world economy is going through. I don't think we're in a settled state. We don't know what the future of our relations with China, the future even of the European Union is going to be. So I would put a very big premium on being nimble, on having good market intelligence, on very fast changing trends, and an ability to respond. I think the most important thing for a nation, large or small, is the diffusion of productive abilities throughout the economy. So that has two elements. One is productivity is the foundation of economic well-being. So you need the technology, the capabilities, the knowledge, the training, and the skills, the infrastructure which can utilize and that knowledge. But, and that's the second important thing, you also have to have institutions that ensure that the benefits of that knowledge and productivity can diffuse throughout the labor force, so that more people have access to good, more productive jobs, and that these productivity benefits do not simply help islands of top performing companies or simply segments of highly skilled professional workers. The United States, for example, has been very good at generating new innovations, new technologies, but has been very bad at diffusing those gains throughout society, and therefore has created an economically, socially, and politically polarized society. And I think it's important for other countries to avoid that mistake. I think we're in a very different moment, that I don't think that the examples of, say, South Korea or Taiwan or Singapore really carry over, because those were societies that were able to industrialize much more deeply and much more extensively than I think Hungary will be able to do, because of the nature of changing technologies in manufacturing, which means it requires much more automation, much less labor. So most of the jobs in the Hungarian economy are going to be generated necessarily by services, most of which are actually not traded. So I think while there are some lessons to be learned from the East Asian successes, I think what's going to be required in the future is an entirely different set of industrial policies that focuses on generating productive labor market opportunities in services. Yeah. I think AI is different from earlier waves of technological change in that it has the potential of helping those at the bottom of the earning and skill distribution, because after all, the promise of AI is that it makes the knowledge, the experience at the frontier available to much larger people at the, command of a prompt that you enter. So if we use AI appropriately, it might actually help some of the most unfortunate members of the labor force, the less educated, the less experienced. And so that actually gives me hope that AI might be good for labor markets rather than simply undermine them. I think there are 2 points. I think on the part of employers, I think they need to use strategies with regard to workers that understand that workers who are more satisfied, whose jobs have higher quality, are also much more motivated, they're more productive, and they're much less likely to quit, so reducing turnover costs. So there are a lot of benefits to investing in your own workers and using technology in ways that are going to empower your workers, as opposed to control them or intensify the division of labor within the operation. So that's, I think, lesson number one for companies. But there's an important role for governments as well, which is that as much as we would hope that businesses can internalize that lesson, many others will not. Many others will choose what might be called a low road strategy of basically using technology in a way that intensifies controls over workers, for a platform that intensifies monitoring of those that use the platform, and monetizing the benefits directly for a concentrated set of beneficiaries, rather than diffusing the benefits of these technology to all the participants in the platform. I think, therefore, in those circumstances, there's a role for the state to put its thumb on the scale and using incentives, dialogue, nudges to encourage firms to deploy technology in more labor-friendly manners. And then, failing all that, of course, the state also has a role as a direct investor in technology and direct regulation of technology, where some of these functions can be performed as well. I'm generally optimistic about the future of work because, for reasons I've discussed, I think AI can enhance the quality of work. I am a little bit more concerned about the powerful role of companies, big tech companies, and AI that left unregulated and without societal control might create some dangers which are quite colossal and existential. So I worry about that.